Welcome to 72 Questions with Teddy. I am your host, of course, Teddy, also known as Umthwebule Ghost. And I'm here with the beautiful, the talented actress, Nozuko Ntshangase. And she's one of the best in the game. But I'm sure she can share a bit more about herself, tell you what she's been up to. Yeah, welcome.
Did you guys hear that? One of the best in the game.
One of the
But
best.
also, I do want to comment on Umthebule Ghosty. What a wordplay. That's so dope. I was like, what?
It is what it is. It is what
Umthebule
it
Ghosty.
is.
That's really dope. Okay, so I'm Nozuko Ntshangase Ntombele Saidi. You know what it is.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
rap
yeah,
039 all day, every day. I am a performer. I'm an actor. I'm a director. But also I work with artists. I'm an artist wellness coach. I do personal development. Yes.
Amazing, amazing. So let's just dive into the questions, Yabo.
78 questions.
72 questions.
72 questions.
You ready?
Hi guys. So la namhlanje.
All right, awesome. So, as an actress, Nick, growing up in South Africa, like, what inspired you to get into acting?
I'm sure you're hoping for a deep answer. Hi guys, there's no deep answer. Honestly, I was doing my homework and we were tasked to cut magazines, and I saw a beautiful lady who was dressed really lovely, and under her photo it was written actress. And I was like, I like this. But also, I think reality of it is that I've always excelled when it came to performing arts, like arts and culture, from very early stages. So if you look at my reports from grade R, grade 1, all they say is that she's always laughing, she's entertaining other kids, she's taking care of other kids, she's always leading.
Yeah.
So I've always had the characteristics of being a performer, yeah. So that's what inspired it. I just saw it on a magazine, and also I believed I was quite good at school. And then I started following it after that. I followed it. What can I do with where I am? And then when I asked myself that question, I found myself being part of a community theater group.
Dope.
Yeah.
Did your family support this career choice?
Of course. I'm raised by a single mom, and she also had an interest in performing arts. She used to do amadram majorates. I think that's what they called.
Yeah.
So she would always tell me, and also like my granny's friend at that time was the one that was teaching my mom the drums and everything. So she used to really encourage them to get involved in the community and do such things as performance, modeling. So she was also that kind of girl who was involved. And when she found out that I want to do community theater, she was excited, but her only concern was safety. So I asked her when I was in grade 7, but she only allowed me when I was in grade 8. Yeah, so she just needed to make sure that I'm safe. But otherwise, she always supported me. She made sure that she shows up for every show I did in the community center, in whatever church, even at school. She was always there.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Do you think, like, your upbringing had an influence in you being an actress?
My upbringing. I've never thought about really that, because when I thought of being an actor, I can't really say. It felt like I remembered in that moment when I saw the picture. But also what's coming into my head is the fact that I am from Ekamalak. I'm from Perception, from the South Coast, and that is one area that is really blessed with art and talent. So it's really possible that this is something that I saw around.
Yeah.
It's very much possible. I mean, we grew up, we already had people that were on TV those days. Even today, like, there's an influx of us from Perception that are in the industry, even people working behind the scenes. So we do come from Ikasi that promoted Ispantsula, promoted hip hop. We had Imvunge in our community.
There's a lot of culture in there.
Yeah, there was a lot of culture. So I do come from that kind of space, and it really did grow me as an artist. But if we speak about the idea in my head, I can't really relate it with that. But I do feel like when I figured out that I want to be a creative, there was so much to look at, to look for.
Yeah.
There's so much that inspired me from my community.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So when you finally got into the industry, what was your breakthrough role? Like, yiphi le nje wangena
Yeah,
ngayo?
it was Skim Sam
Skim Sam,
2015. I was MK and Jama's girlfriend on Skim Sam playing Ayanda. That was the breakthrough role, and it was exciting.
Yeah.
Skim Sam was such a safe environment. I think they understand that they usually welcome people into the industry because most of their talent is raw talent.
Raw talent, yeah.
Yeah, so they know how to induct you, how to, welcome you. So it was Skim Sam.
So how did that role impact your career?
I mean, it was the start. Finally, I'd gotten a job. I was able to support my family, and grow up very fast, which I was not expecting. And I would say that's one of the challenges because it's not easy to just come into Johannesburg as a 23-year-old and you have this job now that the mindset shift you're not ready for, especially if you don't come from a family that maybe that has supported such success. Yeah, I come from a family where, I mean, my mom, she was working in a clothing factory all her life from immediately when she got pregnant. She got pregnant when she was 17. My grandmother was like, go to work.
Yeah.
So she worked in a clothing factory, earning imali nganyana. So now that level of success was a shock to the family, and she didn't know what conversations to have with me. I was just a kid in Joburg trying to make it work.
Yeah, and you made it work.
It looks like it. Yeah, I'm alive. I made it work.
Awesome.
That's a good one. I did make it
you
work.
did.
Thank you.
So when you went to these auditions, like what was your process? Like how did you?
And you're talking about when I started.
Yeah.
So how I actually started, because I come from a background of community theater, I was doing a production by Pilswe to Venstra, and in Durban. I hadn't came to Johannesburg that time. So I was in Durban and I was starting at UKZN doing education at Edgewood while doing the production. Oh, actually, it was even before I went to UKZN. Because what happened, okay, I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
So I was doing a production with Upili and we were going to attend a women's festival at Olive Tree in Alex. It was possibly my second time coming to Joburg, but still the first time was coming to the Market Theatre to participate in a community theatre festival. So second time I was in Alex. And from that performance, I got a call, I think 2 days after, to say, Skim Sam is looking for a Zulu-speaking girl and they would like to audition you.
Amazing.
So then they called me to come to Johannesburg, and it was my first television audition. So I did that audition. I always say, I have to say it. I have to say it. Nanda travelisha. That's one of 5 at 15. I got here 6 o'clock tambama. And I auditioned at that time.
Yeah.
So I auditioned at that time, and I think the casting director was so lovely too and understanding, because actually, funny enough, I didn't want to come because my mom didn't have money. I didn't have money. We had to go borrow the money for me to be able to get into a taxi. But what he said to me was like, when I was a young actor, I traveled from Limpopo to Johannesburg, and they also called me a day before, because they called me a day before to come the following day. Yeah. And Potchefstroom is like 8 hours. It's far.
It's far.
So I came, I auditioned, but unfortunately I didn't get the role I auditioned for.
Yeah.
But by God's grace, 6 months later, they called me in for a different role. So the audition went well. It's just I wasn't for that role.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what's been your most challenging role in your career so far?
In my most challenging, all roles are challenging.
For real?
All roles are challenging, because I'm thinking when I had to leave Ayanda and come to Pinda, that was such a big challenge at that moment in my career.
Yeah. From Skim Sam
to Scandal.
Oh, to Scandal.
Yeah, it was challenging to figure out how I'm going to make it different, because all roles are different, and they teach you different things, and you connect with them differently, and you share different parts of yourselves with them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Knox. I'm gonna say Knox was quite challenging, but reason also I keep her and say she was challenging. It's because there was a lot of work I needed to do because she was leading, so she had a big storylines and she was constantly in distress. She was dealing with big challenges, so just like having to keep up with her emotional arc, having to keep up with her character arc. It was sort of exhausting to the soul, but just because she's a heavy character emotionally. So I'll say her.
And how did you overcome that challenge of
How
playing
did-
that role?
Oh, my. How do you overcome that? Because you swim. You swim.
Until you get it
You
right.
throw yourself in it. First day it's not gonna be it. Second day it won't be it. Third day maybe. Fourth day they're gonna say no. Go back to what you did first day. You just throw yourself in there and allow yourself to be a vessel. I don't think you overcome it. It just happens. And for me, I'm always just like, guys, if the story landed, if I told the truth, then I'm fed. If I know that during that scene when I was shooting, I told the truth during that moment, then I'm fed. Yeah.
Amazing. So do you think that's part of the challenge when it comes to your creative vision and then the director's vision is getting that role out?
Yeah.
Is that part of the challenge as an actress?
I wouldn't call it a challenge, but it's part of the job.
It's part of the job.
It's part of the job. You have to know how to collaborate ideas with your director.
Yeah.
And if you have strong ideas, also you have to know when to step down. Because it's not about you. You have to respect it. But maybe to touch on that, it does become a challenge because sometimes you're in a position where, like Knox, for instance, Knox was so loud. We had such a strong relationship, and therefore there were certain things where really like and I'm like, no, I will not be able to express her if this happens. But also from that, then as an actor now, saying cooler from that experience, I learned to guti tula nozuko. Sometimes tula nozuko. As an actor, allow yourself to chelwe and be that vessel. Sometimes the creative process needs you to do that, because you're going to come from a perspective of being overwhelmed by what the character is going through, and you're going to think director has a perspective where they've separated themselves from the story and they actually know better because they're seeing the full arc of where the story is moving.
Yeah.
So it does become a challenge when you feel like, oh, I have strong ideas, oh, the character is so big, oh, the character wants this, and you get too passionate and you end up
get
fighting with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you were on Isbaya, ne?
No.
You were not on Isbaya.
No, I wish. Bomb production, hint, hint. I need you.
If you were to get a role on Isbaya, how do you think you would play that role compared to your other roles in the past?
Oh man, I remember I thought about it when Isbaya was still there, and I said I wouldn't want to get a role on Isbaya.
Why not?
But I love the production, and I would have loved to be part of the production, but I felt like there was nothing new I could have brought to it.
To the show.
To the show, because Nozuko wase I mean, I don't know. I'm not challenging ukuthi babengangisaphi in terms of creativity.
Yeah.
But when I saw the show, I was like, angazi ukuthi what can I bring?
Okay.
I really don't know.
When it comes to my character Ako, how do you bring that emotional depth? Like, how do you channel that as an actress?
How do I channel that? Question yakho iningi kakhulu.
Because Kona Angitsu Noxie was a leader njengoba
Yeah.
So kwamanye ama character that need you to lead, how do you approach that when as an actress?
Okay. I'm possibly you talk, yes, as an actress, how do I approach
Strong characters.
So
do you meditate?
the process of approaching characters is first finding out the information that the script is giving you. What is there? What do you need to know? Yes, she's strong, but what's behind her being strong?
Yes.
So you find the nuances of the thoughts or of the behavior or of the emotional journey. And then once you get that, then you have to know okay, siguphi kanjani kanjani kanjani, all of those information and investigate. And then what are you doing? Now, as the character in that moment, what are you doing? Yes, right now, we are in an interview, but possibly you have an intention to impress me, So I have to play that intention. Do you get what I'm saying? Not play that gizobuzimbuzo. No, the intention is to impress you. So mangibuzumbuzo, there's something. So that's the process. And then also, what I believe in when it comes to acting is that you can't unlock parts of the characters that you haven't unlocked for yourself. So if Mina as Nozuko, I struggle with self-esteem and I've got a character that is extremely confident or even sometimes borderline egotistic. If I don't know where to find confidence within myself, I won't know how to portray that. So sometimes the work starts with me doing my shadow work, going into where do I find confidence? How does it look like? How does it feel like? Mina ke as Nozuko, how do I express it? So a huge part of playing big roles is it comes with self-awareness.
Comes from within.
It comes from within. Because as much as you're not playing yourself, but the gateway to the character is you.
Yes.
The characters we play are an extension of
you.
Of consciousness, of our own consciousness. I wouldn't even want to say that of me, but of my consciousness. Yes. Of my understanding and knowing of life.
Amazing. So are there any upcoming projects that maybe you're looking forward to?
I can't tell you yet. There's something that's coming, which I'm very excited about, but I can't really tell you yet.
They must follow you. Keep glued.
Follow me, keep gluing, but also there's Own Your Life. Like I said, I am an artist wellness coach. I've partnered up with Coach Kanye.
Yes.
We do personal development.
Yes.
We've got events. We are traveling around South Africa. We've done Cape Town. We've done Joburg, which is so amazing. Next up, it's Durban. We go around and we speak about people pleasing. We speak about setting boundaries. We speak about how do you become the most authentic version of yourself as a being. And we just get inside there. We speak about childhood trauma and hold space for you to be able to express yourself, to heal, to be loved, and to forgive and let go of the things that no longer serves you, of the things that are weighing you, that are keeping you stuck in one space. So that's something that I've been doing that I'm really excited about. Otherwise, when it comes to performance, hey guys, but something is coming. You'll see me soon on your screen.
The initiative.
Thank you.
So as a woman in the industry, like what are some of the challenges that you face, like as someone that's trying to as umfaz in the industry? Because people say it's very male dominated, but what's your take? Like, how do you feel about navigating in the industry as a woman?
With those questions, because yazin mina guys, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a deep answer for this thing.
No stress.
Because honestly, I'm someone Teddy, if those doors are locked, I'm gonna kick them open. So I do not see that there's a man oppressing me. I don't see him. I don't see I don't care what systems are there. They don't bother me because what I need to get, I'm gonna get it. So that's my mindset. So I'm very aware, Uguti, there is this conversation.
Yes.
Because I know that there's women eba affectayo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I just
You're not there.
I know what I'm not there, nje. It's a conversation I respect, but it's a conversation I engas involved with you because I'm like, I need to get to where I'm going and I'm moving.
So for omunye umuntu, for someone else that's trying to get into the industry as an actress, what advice would you give them? Coming up into the industry.
It's possible. First of all, if we can just deal with your heart, the fact that you have the desire, it means that it's possible for you. You can build it up for yourself. Focus on the craft. it's not about, it is about being seen, part of it. But the biggest part of it is about you being an artist. So ukhula kanjani as an artist. So that means that attend school, attend workshops, ncwada, funda, ayikho into
Yes,
esizoyenza.
yes.
Because if ungancwadanga uzofika apha kwi-industry and then they oppressing me, yo, yabo,
Yeah.
funda, so that you have a ground to stand on, you have something that supports your journey, you know where you're going. And it's that, and it's really focus on the craft. Get an agency once you you feel like you understand what you're doing, you have the skill on lock, get an agency, that's part of the process. And from getting an agency, everything will flow. But the industry does allow you to have self-awareness, to be very strong spiritually. Ama-artist amaningi axakwa i-confidence, axakwa ukungazethembi, and ukungazethembi kwako kuqhamuka ekutheni abazi why they have to be creators. And when you build that core, when you build that strength of, I'm a creator, man, I'm an artist, I'm here to share my voice, then you have a way to navigate the industry. You know, you even think of yourself as bigger than just being an actor, because I think Masfiagu industry, we all think, oh, I'm just an actor, or I'm just a DOP. But you then realize, oh, I can sell merchandise. I can partner up with Teddy. We can create something. I can be a model for the day. Yeah, understand. And then now you understand that I'm here to share my voice. There's no pressure.
Yes.
But it's very much possible.
So, how do you think the industry can help upcoming artist as amungena industry? Like, how can they nurture that local talent?
So for me, that's something I've been thinking about. I just haven't been knowing how to go about it. I did approach one production, but I feel like they didn't understand what I was saying.
Yeah.
And I'm specifically talking about the film and television industry, and I was approaching a telenovela.
Yeah.
For me, it was like, we need workshops around the culture of the industry, around what's happening, around financial literacy, around pause and meditation, around taking care of yourself. Besides just the skills that you need to do, we also need to teach you how to manage your lifestyle. Yes, guys, Mafia industry, there's excessive alcohol here. And you don't need money to get drunk. It's like everybody's offering you alcohol left, right, and center. And some people even offer bigger things, bigger drugs. Yeah. So we need to teach my mindset work. And hence, that's why I'm so passionate about the work that I do, that I'm an artist wellness coach, because that's what I want to talk about. And we need more establishments and more businesses that talk about artist wellness. So for me, I think a solution ilapo, because I'm an artist, they know what they need to do, but they struggle when it comes to who they are, how to take care of themselves, how to meditate, how to calm themselves down, how to get out of it. Yeah.
Okay. So when as umuntu with a busy schedule, like how do you prioritize Leo self-care, Leo self-nurturing, just so that you cannot get lost in the busyness of your schedule cycle? Like how do you...
First of all, I received the busy schedule. Thank you. Thank you very much. I need a PA.
More work, more coins.
Yes. So I think people who follow me on social media know I am big on mindfulness. I think artistry, entrepreneurship, mindfulness, they go hand in hand.
Of course.
So I've adopted things such as meditation. I've adopted things such as visiting nature. Ngiyahamba mina guys emfuleni ngiyohlala ngifike ngibhukude lapha emanzini ngenza izinto that my body relates with, you know, walk on the grass by the park. I spend a lot of time by the Imarensha Dam because when I'm in nature, I am myself. I get to relax, I get to reset. But also I do the work, the internal work, such as making sure that I journal, making sure that I am creative. One of the things is that we struggle with as artists, that we're not creative. We're not finding other ways to express ourselves. So like I've recently learned how to write. So I'm not only focused on acting. I'm recently learned how to write. I'm learning coaching. I'm learning directing. So to expand myself is also a way of self-care as an artist. Yes. But also I have silence moment where I'm just not doing anything. But you have to schedule it in. Wake up an hour early. Know that for 3 days in a week, I wake up an hour early to prioritize taking care of myself. Mangbuya, you have to deroll. You can't sleep with that character. So you have to have a way. Some people use music, some people use meditation. You can use what works for you. You don't have to have something that's set. You don't have to copy what other people are doing, but how do you get back to yourself? Other people, it's prayer. Ubuyela kanjani? Abanye abantu bayaphahla to come back to themselves. So, yeah, you have to schedule it in though.
Okay, so how does Leo
Spirituality,
yes,
yeah.
yes, and that mindfulness, like, what role does that play in your life and your career?
Balance. It helps me with balance. It helps me balance work life and also not identify with my work because I'm
Yes.
not my work.
Yes.
So I'm also able to see myself outside of my work. So really it helps me with balance, know when I'm working. Because I think also as I'm a creative, it's so easy to have the lines blurred, you know. But yeah, that's how it helps me. It helps me with balance. And life is about balance.
Of course, of course, of course. So what inspired you to get into being a coach? Like, what got you into that?
I've always loved my community. Ngiyabathanda abantu. Ngiyakholelwa ukuthi umsebenzi wami kakhulu is to be with people. That's why I love sharing space with people and spending time with people. So it's a journey I've always followed from when I was a teenager. And then when I got to Johannesburg and I was on television, I did go through a really dark time. I did lose myself in the big lights of Johannesburg, and I found depression, I found anxiety. So when I had to now go through a journey of healing, of finding myself again, that's when I decided to go get a certificate in NLP because I was looking for ways to, well, first of all, I'm the kind of person that always has a coach in acting or in whatever it is that I'm doing. I believe in education. So as I was trying to find ways to heal myself and let go of the trauma I went through, because I was also going through quite a toxic relationship that was physically and emotionally abusive. So as I was going through releasing that trauma, I found a life coaching center or business called Subconscious Frequency, and they do certificates. But also, Ikoziabo is not only for someone who wants to be a life coach. If you want to release, if you feel like, yo, I've went through so much and I need a space to find myself again, to find my mind again, NLP is such a beautiful tool for healing. So then I met NLP, and then I went to Subconscious Frequency, and then I got my certificate. Then I was like, you know that you've always wanted to have an influence on people. So how can you use this to achieve that? Yeah. So that's how then I became a coach.
So then you use social media platforms to express that.
To express
Yes.
that. I mean, we are in a world of, digital connections.
Yes.
And I think if I'm going to start a business, I have to first start it online.
Yes.
Because also that opens up my reach to an international reach. So I think it's a great idea for now, since I don't necessarily have a space, but I will soon, manifesting it, I will soon have a space where you guys can come in and get to learn acting and also get to meditate and do all the inner work that you need. So yes, I thought having a digital business is the best solution for me to express my coaching.
Amazing. So kulo mhlaba esiphila kuwona kunama social issues amaningi. So what social issues are you most passionate about, and like how do you think they can be fixed or changed or addressed actually?
Or addressed. With where we are, Mina, I'm mostly passionate about freeing the mind. I don't really know if there's a social issue or, but all I'm saying is that my passion is really on freeing the mind of a person that looks like me. And I think the tools that I use to do that is to teach consciousness, to remind you that, hello, ula emhlabeni uyaphila, but actually the real you is deep inside.
Because
so
depression now tends to cage your mind in. Actually.
it does. You understand. So I think what I'm passionate about is awakening you to remind you of who you are.
Yes.
I think then that it covers a lot of social issues. You know, when we work with your core, when we work with your nervous system, when we work with your heart, your soul, it means that you're going to have a better understanding of who you are. Then you're going to draw boundaries. People are not going to be, taking advantage of you. Even when it comes to teenagers, I've always been very passionate about making sure that we have the conversation of teenage pregnancy. And I'm not even saying it to judge, but from a point of how do we make sure that our young mothers, they get to an age where they feel ready to have kids,
Yes.
So that's one of the things. I don't know if I answered you.
Yeah, you did
Yeah.
perfectly
Yeah.
actually. Thank you.
But for me, Jay, my voice is freedom. Yeah.
Okay. No, I hear you. So how do you believe artists can make a positive impact in society?
Oh, it's so tricky. By finding our voices. It's good to have jobs. It's good for us to keep the industry afloat, but we have to know what we are saying as artists. And even when we don't participate in the industry, I don't know if that even makes sense, but I think there's different levels to artistry, and some
Yes.
people don't see themselves as necessarily participating in the industry because they think they're not in the public eye, but indirectly they are participating to the entertainment industry. They are part of, us. So into ebalulekile is that we find our voices so that we can open our own businesses, so that you see right now the journey of me finding my voice helped me understand that I can be an artist wellness coach.
Yes.
Now that is an expansion in the industry. Now we have an arm that caters for artists to be taken care of, to have a safe space. They know where to go. They're going to come to Uzugolwam.
Yes.
So if we're not Teddy, then you find your voice, and your voice puts together photography and acting. I don't even know how it can come. Just make an example.
Of course.
That's your individual voice, and you're gonna create your own voice, and that's how we keep going. So I really find your voice so that you can have your direction, so that we can expand, so that we can open up the industry. Opening up the industry doesn't come from the broadcasters giving us more jobs, but it comes from us creating more things.
Yes.
To hire more people.
Yes. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So when do you have a memorable moment in lo msebenzi lo wenzayo wabantu? Is there a moment that you can share where, outside of being an actress, life coaching, yes, is there a moment that really touched you kulo msebenzi lo we coaching?
I'm going to speak about my growth, because I started coaching right in front of everyone.
Yeah.
And first of all, my growth really inspires me to see where I am. And what really touches me, last weekend on Saturday, I was doing a session on forgiveness and letting go. And as I was talking and I had everything prepared, when I just started speaking about forgiveness, it felt like I started preaching in a way. And that moment for me was a special moment, because I started understanding that what we do is much beyond us. I can get a certificate in coaching. I can learn how to, this is what you do, you journal, you meditate, you do this. But actually there is a voice that drives me to do this thing. And when I touched on forgiveness, because it's such a sacred thing that I teach on, I was able to tap into that Holy Spirit that said, bathathelele baba kubaba kwaza bakwenzayo.
Yes.
That says, if uza kumina njengomntanami, zikline kuqala, take care of your house and forgive. Ungezi kumina uthwele imthwalo. Noma ungeza ke nayo, kodwa be ready ukuthi you're going to go through a journey of forgiveness. So to see myself when I had prepared something and get in front of the people and speak like that and speak from that perspective, I was like, thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that you're present. Yeah.
Dope.
That touched me.
Dope. So what inspires your creative choices when, and how do you stay innovative as a creative? Like yini nje egqugquzelayo ukuthi uhlezi ufuna yabo uthi as in I need to do better. I need to top up whatever I did ekuqaleni.
My
Yabo?
mom.
Your mom.
My mom.
She keeps you motivated and inspired.
She keeps me motivated. If I haven't bought her that Gucci bag,
Hey.
I haven't taken her to New York.
Hey.
Listen, angengiqamba manga, guys. I love what I do and I associate it with community. So my community really inspires me.
Yeah.
Koda uma wami mfethu, uma wami ngithinta la. Yabona, when I look at her, like I want to run. I want to hustle. I don't like hard work, but when I look at my mom, I'm like ngizosebenza ke. Yeah, I'm going to kick the doors open. So so she really does inspire me, but really it's community and trying to find solutions for my community.
Amazing. So when can you like walk us through your process of like approaching an idea? Do you pray about it? Do you meditate? Muzo wenza isinqumo empilweni yakho.
Okay.
Wenze njani? Uqala uthandaze? Do you speak to someone? Like how do you go about it?
I first torture myself. I'm going to be honest. Is this a safe space?
Of course.
I know I'm a coach, but I'm going to be honest. I first torture myself with overthinking.
Yeah.
I overthink it possibly for a good week or even 2 weeks. I'm an overthinker. And then after overthinking, I will get to a point where I remember that, oh, I need to pray about it. Because we're humans and that's how we are.
Yes.
And then I pray about it. And then okay, actually what's happening? And then from that direction, then I can see how do I need to write about it. And also I'm actually curious because I'm not sure what are you asking, because you said a decision or like a creative idea.
Creative idea and decision.
And a decision. Okay,
Yeah.
right now I'm talking about making a decision,
Yes.
right? Then I pray about it, and then if ever there needs to be a certain level of work that needs to be done, journal about it, talk to someone about it, then I would follow that. But when I make a decision, it will be about me. It will be about me, and I will make the decision. When it comes to creative ideas, they come into my head. First of all, I write them down. I believe in writing. And then from writing, we see how we can grow them, how we can, what direction they need to take, and also what form of art do I need to use, or what platform. Is it a theater show? Is it a film? Is it a music video? Ngizosebenzisa ini? And then how can I learn? Throughout my creative process, I'm learning. I do a lot of research when I'm being creative,
Yes.
because I like being inspired.
Yes.
Whether I'm watching a video from Oprah or Gail or whoever, but I do a lot of research for me to be inspired for things to come. And yeah, and I make sure I'm in silent spaces. Yeah.
Dope. So when it comes to amatrendi lawa owabonayo la eMzansi, like how do you think those trends are going to shape the South African industry? Good deep.
Yeah, the trends
to me. Talk
are gonna
to me.
shape this. What trends are they?
Well, ngiyabona ukuthi manje there's like a lot of like TikTok is basically leading
Okay.
whatever is trending right now in the
Okay.
industry. So, do you think the social media for you
Yeah.
plays a much bigger role in how things go in the industry,
Okay.
or do you think it comes from
Yeah,
Nina?
I hear you.
It's a safe space.
To say so.
It's a safe space.
I think sometimes siyakhohlwa ukuthi it's us that create the trends.
Yes.
So I mean, it used to be like that. If on a certain show sibona hairstyle, I'm trying to remember which character, hairstyle ga Sharon. You know, generations back those days, a lot of ladies then started having that hairstyle.
Yes.
So I truly do believe that television is what sets the trends. Koda noma ngingengazi, because I'm really just a performing artist. I'm not really clued up when it comes to the media space and how it runs and
Yes.
advertising and all of that. But I've seen Uguti, when it comes to telling our stories, we want to please social media instead of being the leaders of that. So we receive ideas from social media. Hence, I think sometimes we do lose authenticity in our storytelling, and our storytelling starts becoming washed down. It starts
Yes.
becoming mediocre because we just want to impress social media instead of telling the truth. We do have that challenge. Kodwa ke kuyiqiniso ukuthi we are in a time where the digital space is new, it's popping, it's leading. But also, let's not lie to ourselves and say people don't crave traditional television. Hence, why is Skim Sam trending every day?
It is.
You hear what I'm
is,
saying?
yeah.
People still crave traditional television. I do believe, Uguti, after some time, television is going to find its own grounding. I think, or because what we've been seeing is that now a lot of stories are becoming shorter and shorter. Now we're only getting 1 year or 2 year contracts. So I do think a lot of broadcasters are also trying to get on with the times, and they have apps and all of that.
Yeah.
So the digital space is leading, but in a way we still need to find a way to tell truth and not go with trends, because trends don't last. But how do you create storytelling that can last? How do you create storytelling that is meaningful, that has depth, without being driven by social media? So I don't know if I answered you, because I'm not clued up about trends. I don't look at them that much.
No, the reason why I'm asking, because being born on social media, that nowadays apparently influencers are being casted for roles more than the people who went to drama, that went to workshops.
But also that can be such a big assumption, my love, because you guys are looking at people that are being visible through TikTok and thinking they never went to drama school, and thinking they've never attended a lot of workshops, because it's not everybody that's going to go to drama school. I didn't.
Yes.
I got my training informally. And you look at them and you think, they're just influencers and they're getting a big role. No, those kids attended Oba Actor Space.
Yes.
Those kids are attending workshops. It's just you don't know. So, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Mina angakaboni. Let me say mina ngiboni ukuthi i-industry i-hireisha ama-influencers more than actors. I don't see that. And I will stand on it. I see a lot of actors on television, but obviously we are in a time where there isn't a lot of production and a lot of flow in the industry. So kunzimanyana. But aibo guys, siyaqashwa ama-actor ayasebenza.
Hayi kuhle mekunjalo. So when how do you
Ngizongishaya. Kodwa kulungile ngizolikhuluma iqiniso lami.
So when how do you maintain and build relationships with fellow actresses and fellow actors in the game?
Oh my gosh. So, mina nginenhliziyo ebuthakathaka ne. I fall in love easily. Sorry. Hint hint. I fall in love easily, so every production I go to, I always come out with a friend. And if you look at who my friends are, it's people I've worked with. So I've heard the girlies on social media saying, don't, your colleagues are not your friends. It's something I'm still trying to understand, because I make friends where I work.
And it makes it easier to work with people about your head.
Yes, I do have other friends who are not in the industry. Most and majority of my friends is people in the industry. It becomes easy because we speak the same language mostly.
Yes.
And also because baseduze. I think kululu kwenza abangani nabantu abaseduze ngiyaxolisa, but I'm just like that. I make friends easily. That's why it's difficult to even answer the question. I make friends very easily because I'm myself.
Okay.
And it's either we vibe or we don't vibe. And with me, you'll never get an in-between. It's either siyazwana or yeah.
So there's no like specific qualities or abugayo in a friend that you meet in the industry, like
I meet people on a human basis.
yeah.
Mawumuntu nje unenhliziyo, mawumuntu unenhliziyo enhle, ungakhohlakalanga, sizozwana, and then we'll see if we have chemistry to become friends or if we're interested. But isikhathi esiningi ama-friendships engiba nawo, things just fall into space. Things fall into space. I actually wonder if people make friends thinking like a relationship, like I want a friend, you know, who's gonna be like this. I want a friend who's gonna be like this. I make friends with all sort of people, all kinds of people from, like Mina. Yo, I have friends with old men, like 40-year-olds. Unity, and we're friends, and we actually call each other and find out how we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I make friends with a lot of people. Ngiyazwana nabantu kakhulu.
Kumnandi ukuthi uthole nama POV ahlukile.
ahlukile mina ngichila nabantu aba different. As much as I say my actors are, I mean most of my friends are actors, but ngichila nabantu abahlukile, ngizwana nabantu abahlukile.
All right. So when as umuntu or actress and a creative, like how do you handle constructive criticism? Uyakwazi ukudila nayo ikusha, like how do you deal with that?
Ngiyakhula.
Awuthathi personal.
And I'm saying ngiyakhula because maybe someone who worked with me back in 2020 may say, yo, you can't say anything to her.
Yeah.
Gotta, I'm really at a point where I'm quite sure of myself. I welcome criticism at this moment. I understand ukuthi yangikhulisa. So I think it's always about the approach. It's always about the approach, because also acting is such a sensitive thing. You, if uzozak mina to talk to me about my creative process, then let's speak about the creative process. Don't attack me.
Yes.
I will fight if you attack me. But if we're gonna be creatives in skulume ngokuthi yazi nana le choice le, I'm seeing it like this, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's try it like that.
Yes.
Yeah, ngumuntu o ngiyadirecteka, ngiyadirecteka ingalapho.
All right.
Yeah.
So when do you see ukubaleka kwe-networking in the entertainment industry? Like, do you see the importance of that?
Yeah, of course. Your next producer is possibly your wardrobe assistant right now.
You never know.
You will never know. So network with that wardrobe assistant. Get to know who they are. Speak to them. I believe in networking because sometimes you will go and meet, let's say, Mandla, and I'm making an example.
Yeah.
You meet them, it's 2020, you're like, hi Mandla, ganjani. And they're like, no, it's okay. I'll call you when I have something. 2025, Mandla is like, no, there's that girl I met. So it's so important to network. Yes. And it doesn't mean that things are zohlangana manje. I've seen that with me. Like people I met back at Skim Sam, I'm getting to work with them now. Nozuko, there's this short film I want us to do. You see. So networking it's very important in this industry. Yeah.
All right. So how do you think umsebenzi wakho contributes to the South African stories that are being told on television?
My acting.
Your acting, yes.
Ah, beautiful
the roles
question.
you play, like, do you think they speak to ama stories ala eMzansi kahle?
Yes, what a beautiful question. Yes, of course. And I think the question tinta because I've sat down and thought about the kind of actor that I am and the kind of stories that I want to tell.
Yes.
And I remember saying to myself, as much as I want to learn an international accent, there's nothing inside of me that I feel is shiftwa with me telling a story from another country. Somehow, maybe ngisazo cool. For now, I'm like, angikhaleli andikhaleli ukuxoxa isitori saseBrooklyn. I swear to God. I want to tell the stories that I saw. Ngifuna ukuxoxa izitori zakacele, ngifuna ukuxoxa izitori zakangwabe. I want to tell South African stories like all day, every day. So I think the characters that I play, I always, and make sure ukuthi ngifuna someone who's watching from Elokshini, from back at home, I feel ukuthi I know that girl. I relate with that girl. I know where she comes from. So I always try to have that with my characters, whether it's through language, whether it's through how I move, whether it's through my sense of humor. But I like representation. I believe a lot in representation. And me, as an actor, ngiyakholwa ukuthi ngifuna ukuba actor that tells South African stories.
That's amazing.
Oh, and Nigerian stories. I'm in love with Nigerian stories. I don't know why. I love them.
So you wouldn't mind playing a Nigerian role?
I wouldn't mind. I just need to get the accent, but I wouldn't mind. I love the freedom in their acting.
Yeah.
I feel like South Africa, well, I feel like what we look as good acting is the stillness, mina ngiyakuthanda mina uku-acta ngidlabhalake. Mina ngifuna ukuthi Chineke. I like that drama.
Yeah.
And for me, it just tells me that Nigerians are so authentic to themselves. They don't look at the best way of performance. Standard sabo se best performance abasibeki kulama country la amanye.
Basethele
sabo bethu. Basethele sabo. And I'm about that.
Yeah. No, I feel you. So how do you balance like cultural authenticity with creative freedom? Like how do you feel like you'll find the balance in that? So it's okay, ngumZulu, kodwa manje futhi ngifuna ukuthi ngibe creative in telling the story of being umZulu.
Oh, Sanosam, you have to always find layers. There's nothing engfuna in limite when it comes to storytelling, because there's nothing. I'm not loyal to any culture. I'm a Mbondo princess raised Zulu. Yes, I will respect certain cultures if I have to use them on my creative process. But when it comes to being creative, it's about best telling the story. I was looking at Sinners yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's driving me crazy how he decided to approach the story. Yes, he's telling a story that represents a certain time, a story that represents, like slavery and all of those topics. But he was able to travel with us through different time zones and different times of how music started during that time, and where we've seen that same music grow into hip hop, grow into other forms of music, just black people starting with blues. So, I mean, I saw how free he was in telling his story. I don't think that creator of that film sat and thought, how am I going to represent slavery in a way that black people feel like, in a creative way, but still they mustn't feel like I've lost what slavery is about or something like that. He told the story in his own perspective, in a way that he wanted to approach it. And it was modern, it was different, and it was provocative, it was challenging.
Yeah.
There was a time where he was challenging Christianity, where the demons were literally saying, "Our Father who art in heaven." I think that's why. What is the other prayer? I forgot, but there's two of them. There's Our Father and the other one. I just forgot the other. But the demons were literally saying a prayer while he was saying his monologue. And that's a challenge. When I was sitting there, I felt uncomfortable. When I went out and thought about it creatively, I was like,
this is
I see him. He said, I'm gonna go there.
Yeah.
So when I think of my creative process, I like to dare things. So I wouldn't even want to balance culture in my creative process. I'd want to, what can I use from there and use from there? But creativity, we have to find a way. We have to find the most beautiful, the most authentic, the most beautiful layers out of what we are creating. Yeah.
Okay. So can you share like a project that resonated you on a cultural level?
A project that resonated
or
with
like
me?
a role?
A
or
role,
character,
a role on a cultural level.
Or a personal level.
Or a personal level. On a cultural level or a personal level. Oh yeah. The role I played at this Penguin production is Piwo. She was a traditional healer. Not necessarily a traditional healer, she's a sangoma. She was a sangoma. And I think her spiritual journey resonated with me, because I've also been on a journey of awakening, not a journey of being a sangoma, but a journey of awakening spiritually.
Yes.
So it really did resonate with me. But also it was so interesting that she thought she had the calling, but she didn't. So that was cool, because what we're currently going through we're seeing a lot of people that are being
That are going-
misled
yes.
into the journey of umgoma. Kanti
Yes.
sometimes they actually have other gifts, or they're going through an awakening process of some sort, and it's not necessarily that.
That.
So it was beautiful to see that on screen, and be able to express that myself. Because even for me, I had to ask myself, this journey you're following, is it real?
Is it umngoma?
Even those questions, is it umgoma? Is it, what is this journey, spiritual journey that you're following, and how real is it? But instead of taking me away from the spiritual journey, it actually brought me closer to that, because then I was able to find answers. Uguti, yeah, this is your journey, this is how it is. So I went through a beautiful time with that character. They bangikhulisa kakhulu ngokomoya.
That's beautiful. So, kwama role akho, what's been your most like challenging one? Like which one uyibuka manje and you're like, yo, ayabola apha
Yeah.
ngasebenza. Kwakunox?
You've asked me, it's not.
It's not,
It's definitely
no?
not. I worked hard. I guys,
So-
2 years of running,
So when you had to like leave that character, did you find it hard as well?
babes.
To let go?
It
Was
took
it
me
hard?
2 years.
To let go.
Yeah, to let go after the production was wrapped. 2 years.
Yeah.
I walked into an audition, and the casting director said, "Finally, you've let go." I was so embarrassed. I was like, "Look, audition ngonoxi."
Yeah.
It was so difficult to let go of her. I always speak about it and say, I felt like even my facial structures were changing into her. I would look into the mirror, and I'd be like, "Who's that?" It's not Sis Nozuko. It's not Sis Nozuko. Yeah, so yeah, I went in there.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
So when in you being an actress, what's been the most rewarding part of your job? Like yiphi nje le ekushala
Engishaya ngaphakathi.
as an actress.
Yo, ziningi, kodwa mina mfethu mina, yabo acting mina ngiyenzela ukuthi kunale feeling angazi ngizoyiqala kanjani, because even when you're still eating the script, like the feeling is building up. I get excited when I get a script saying it's Tanda, tell ukuthi ngile nto, and then I find something and I'm like, So it's a build up to a certain moment, after a scene, and you're like, I was able to be in the moment.
I nailed that.
Yeah, as I'm thinking about it, I feel like I'm chasing the moment. I'm chasing the moment of truth with these roles. And every time I feel it in myself that then I'm like, yes. Love it. I love a good story. I chase a good story.
You live for that.
I live for a good story. I live for a good story.
How do you celebrate like your milestones and achievements?
I do struggle to celebrate, but lately, a friend of mine has really been making sure that we celebrate. You know how I've been celebrating? I buy KFC dunked wings, send them to my place. So it's either when I'm too sad or when I have to celebrate something. Bengibuye ngibe nenkinga ngisaba ukucelebrate in front of people. So even watching my shows, like sometimes I would struggle with watching them with people. So ngizivalele endlini, I buy KFC dunked wings and I eat that. And for me, that is just my guilty pleasure. And I get so happy. For me, that's always a good enough celebration.
Do you ever watch yourself on TV?
I do, but I struggle.
What makes you struggle to watch yourself on TV?
It's not nice to watch yourself. It feels weird. I critique myself. I'm like, your voice sounds flat. You shouldn't have moved like that. It's just, I'm just like, ugh.
I feel you.
Yeah, it feels very uncomfortable, but I do watch because I have to know what I'm doing.
Yes.
So I have to force myself.
Okay, so in your career, do you have any long-term goals maybe?
I do have long-term goals. I really would like to expand my business, Uzuko Lwami. I think wellness is something that we need to invest more in the industry, within productions. We need to get inside those productions. When they go and do auditions with our kids there in Malokshini, wherever they go, and those kids don't know what to expect in the industry, they need to bring those kids to us so that we can tell those kids what to expect and help them not make the same mistakes that we've made. I think it's something that we actually need to take serious, especially when we bring in people without experience in the industry. We need to have the responsibility to teach them and to mentor them into finding a safe space in the industry. So for me, uzuko lwami needs to expand. I really would like to have my own space where I can teach acting and also do all of these beautiful things that I would like to do with my fellow artists.
Open workshops.
Open workshops, yes, open workshops, and do that and do that. In terms of acting, acting isn't good. It's just constantly growing. Right now, I'm working on my voice. Voice coaches, where are you? Please hit me up. I'm working on my voice. I really feel like if I can have better command over my voice, I will be a much better actor. I pray that I make enough money so that I can have enough time to go back to theater.
So you'd go back if you had the chance?
I need to.
Yeah.
I need to. So that will mean that I need to have time away from, the screen. I think, but I really want to be more there.
That's amazing.
And I would like to go back to school.
Would you study the same thing?
Yes, so it'll be either theater or film. I haven't decided. Yes.
Okay. Nah, but you got this.
Thank you.
Do you have a vision for the South African entertainment industry? And if you do, what do you see being better about the industry?
We do need to start with what's on paper. It's unfair that we still have laws that existed around Angaz. Even omkhulu bethu bengakayiqali industry phela omkhulu bethu yabona siyabazi sibabonile omkhulu bethu be-act in the industry. So that's really unfair and it doesn't make sense. So we do need to check the legislation part of the industry. I wouldn't really name it because I wouldn't say that I'm that clued up about it, but I know that's something that as actors we need to, as workers of the industry, not just actors, it's something that we really need to fight towards and join the organizations that are mobilizing us to be able to have a voice when it comes to our own laws and legislations. That's really what I would like to see changing. We deserve those royalties and because they will help. And also I really would like to see us build more structures I would like to see more managers in the industry. I think we struggle with representation.
Yes.
We struggle a lot with representation. And Angaz Gutindab. Even actors, we don't have representation. Great actors don't have managers. I'm like, how? Yeah. So also we need to have people that understand insurances. Angazi hlangana kanjani, but I know we need to have people that are going to sell us insurance that is specifically for the artist, specifically for the freelancer, and funeral covers and all of those things that support us in long term. So those are the things I would like to see changing, and more financial literacy around the industry. And that is a challenge to the schools, to Abu After. Are you guys teaching them how to manage their money? Are you guys teaching them business? Where do we go to learn more about business, the business of arts? We need more structures that support that.
True. So how do you see yourself evolving as an artist? Do you see yourself traveling abroad? Do you want to get roles abroad? Do you want to keep it here, African? How do you see yourself evolving as an artist?
I mean, I think we've always had the American dream, but I feel like the world is moving to SA. At the same time, the world is moving to South
They're
Africa.
Embracing us more than them now.
Yeah, that gives me an idea. Maybe it's not even about that. The idea is to participate globally. The idea is visibility globally, to be able to tell our stories and be heard by the world. And I think platforms like Netflix are giving us that opportunity
Yes.
now. So yes, I will travel for vacation. I will travel to have fun. Kodwa mina ngibona sengathi yonke into engiyidingayo ngizoyithola la. There's just that thing inside of me that says into idingayo for you to see this vision that you have for yourself come to life. It's here in South Africa. Yes, you should go visit and get inspiration and see other cultures, and because phela moy artist akumele ubone into eyodwa, kumele ubone ezinye izinto. So umhlaba ngiyafuna ukubona. Kodwa when it comes to storytelling, indabila, those roles we're going to get them here.
Of course. So now what legacy do you want to leave in the industry as uNozuko?
Yeah.
Yiphi legacy nje ufuna ukuyishiya ukuthi abantu bakwazi ukuthi ayazini na umsebenzi wakho iyona legacy yakho le?
Uzuko lwami. I want my child to say, when Umama started her business, she started in 2025. And oh wow, why am I being emotional? We have lost a lot of artists in the industry to things that could have been, well, okay, ukuhamba kwabantu umusa kaNkulunkulu, whatever situation, but I just mean like when it comes to mental illness, when it comes to us taking care of ourselves, you know, making sure that we don't overdose drugs, making sure that we're healthy artists and we are balanced, making sure that we are balanced artists. Ngifuna umntanami athi umama started Uzuko Lami in 2024 or 2023, and since then there's been, you know, this talk, there's been conversations and healing in the industry, and Mama has been a part of that. And actually right now it's 2030 and we can see the statistics that back in 2019 we lost how many artists to suicide, and now it's 2030 and we have less artists that are killing themselves. My movement is about making sure that our artists survive the industry without having to take their own lives.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So on a much lighter note now, Yabo, if you could switch with any one of your characters that you've played, switch impilo, which one would it be?
I'll definitely switch with the character I'm currently playing that I can't mention, but because, okay, I have to think the ones in Wazi.
Yes.
Yo, I want a rich character, Nakas. Yo, now ndiyacing ba broke bonke laba. I would switch with Upindile, Scandal.
Yes.
She was a normal girl from Imakaya. She lived a normal life, but also she was about standing up for herself and, you know, and hustling and breaking barriers and being rebellious. I liked her. So I would switch lives with her. Ngisebenze NFA, she give a receptionist. I would. I would.
feel you. So is there any like historical figure mhlampe that you would like to have dinner with, or maybe like a public figure?
Honestly, I would have loved to have dinner with the great Ntate Joma Fela.
Yes.
But
Rest in paradise.
rest in paradise, Daddy. But I'll say right now, ebantwini abakhona.
Yes.
Oh no, I need to think carefully. Yo, have dinner.
Ngixoxe nje.
Sixoxe.
Thola ama gems kuyena.
Like motion jalo, then it would have to be Angus Bomb Production. Yeah.
Why, Angus?
Yo, they've done great. They've done amazing work. They've told stories that represent us. Ngiyazi ukuthi ulombala. Kodwa mangicabanga izone 14 mina ezingangihlele igama lakhe, I was like, I see myself in that show.
Yeah.
If I think of Isibaya, uyabo. So ngifuna ukumbuza certain things ukuthi ufike kanjani lapho and futhi nje the fact that ulombala ngifuna ukwazi kakhulu ukuthi kanjani mfethu wena yibo wena ukwazi kanje mfethu ukuthi ushaya izitori zethu hayi ngiyafuna ukuthola and I think ngingafunda kakhulu kuyena so idina ingaba naye but ke when it comes to actors guys like ngicela ningihlanganise noMasasa ngicela ngihlanganise noMasasa please ngajabula ukuhlangana noMasasa yeah.
So what's the most spontaneous thing you've done?
I woke up, I went to Soweto Towers alone, and I jumped. And I'm scared of height. And I'm so scared of height that I'm scared of escalators.
Yeah.
And I did it. It was crazy.
How did you feel afterwards?
I hated it, but the thing is you can't run away from the relief that the adrenaline gives you.
Yes.
So for a few days, I felt like, whew, I've actually done something meaningful. Kodwa angeke nje mina ngiqamba ngi-understand lento okuvele nje ufuna ukuyiphosa. Angi-understand umzimba wami uyi-understand nomqondo wami awuyizwa.
Hayi into yabelungu.
Into yabelungu phezulu uvele ufuna ukuyiphosa. Hayi.
Straight.
Yeah.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Is it the Amazon? And it's Peru. I'd like to go to Peru and do some ayahuasca. Hey guys, it is what it is. Judge me if you want. I want to go to Peru and do some ayahuasca. I'd like to see Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a specific reason why you'd like to see Egypt?
Because of the history. Because of the history. I just want to see. Ngifuna ukuyibona ukuthi ayike bahamba lana ko Moses. Nabo bani. I want to see that. I've always been curious about it. So I'd like to know more about it.
Okay. So what's your favorite way to spend like a lazy Sunday? Sunday wako nje uspenda kanjani?
Yes, good music, good food, good company. And a good preparation for the week.
Okay.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So if you were to collaborate with any artist, which artist would you collaborate with?
If I were to collaborate with an artist,
like a musician maybe?
Yeah. I pray that one day, because I'm still growing when it comes to being a director.
Yeah.
And I'm so passionate about music videos, and also there's something engsakhula kuyona. I pray that one day I get to direct Java and Dlunkulu's music videos. Yeah, I pray that I do. I hear them. They literally my favorite artists, and I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And Nicki Minaj, but Java and Dlunkulu ngiyabezwa, so I'd like to direct something from them. I'd like to tell their story.
I think ubuwena and nama stories that you tell can easily relate to the kind of music that they
do.
Yes.
So I hope one day I'm going to direct as Java music video and in Dlunkulu music video.
I hope
Thank you. Balalele vele. Thank you.
So what's the one thing that you can't live without in Yakho?
One thing I can't live without. Prayer, phahla, water, food, I think. I can go a few days without food, but I can't live without prayer.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. So, to wrap this off, it's been great to have you here. Yabo. So, for anyone that's watching, like, what's next for you as uNozuko? Like, what can they anticipate from you?
More visibility. I think I've been hiding. I've been like, it's okay to be in the back. It's not okay. We frantic and go. So expect me to be seen. I am challenging myself to ground into who I am and be comfortable with the fact that I'm in the public eye. And so that's what they should expect to see me, expect to see my art, expect to see whatever it is that I have to offer. but you're gonna see me.
All right, cool. So, no, I appreciate you being vulnerable. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your honesty. I just want to know, for anyone that's looking up to you,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to them? Someone that looks up to you and is like, Yazin, I want to be like Nozuko when I grow up. Like, what would you say to them?
Don't be like me. Do not be like me. Be yourself. Ukholo lwami ngiyakholelwa ekutheni sonke la emhlabeni sihlukile, and we all came here with different gifts and different missions. So my advice is look inside of yourself and connect with you, with your unique self, with your unique vision and your unique journey. That's what I would say. You really don't have to look up to me, but look up to yourself. Look up to yourself. Akubo when ote yamona. Like you must see your higher self or the version of yourself that you want to become so clear that you like my role model kina, because you know already all the things you want to do and who you want to be. It's already done. So that's what I would say.
All right, cool. So before we wrap up, is there any book or song that maybe inspired you recently?
A book. I'm finished. It's a book called. Okay, so first of all, I had to catch up on Bear, by Jackie Pamute. If you have not checked the Blessers Game, go read it, guys. That book is worth it. And then after that, Gang Zolandela, the whole series. But please, Bear Nation, bear with me. I'm catching up. But an interesting book also that I read after that book is a book called How Not to Worry. Like I told you, I'm an overthinker.
Yes.
And now it has really helped me. It has shortened the days of overthinking.
Yes.
Because now I overthink for 2 days and then I go back to what the book taught me. Uguti, I will take a deep breath. Are you suffering now or are you making yourself suffer in your head? And also look at facts. What do you have? What's the worst that's going to happen? And how can you work towards a solution? So that book was really inspirational. But another thing that's really been touching my heart is the fact that I am on VMC Planet Radio. I've just started a new thing, a new form of art, which is radio broadcasting. And you can check me out every Sunday on Sunday Larks from 2 to 5 o'clock. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for being a part of 72 Questions with Teddy. As a final note, what would you like to be remembered as Nozuko Ntshangase? Ufuna abantu bakukhumbule kanjani, bakwazi kanjani?
Bangazi kanjani. Angizothi ngomusa kaNkulunkulu kodwa hayi cha leyo answer someone once asked me ukuthi if there was a billboard,
Yes.
abantu abangakukhumbula ngayo ingabhala ukuthini, and I said black consciousness, and I feel the need to answer you the same way.
Yeah.
Black consciousness, guys, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. We have to be selfish in uplifting ourselves and in reparenting ourselves as the Black nation, and in forming our community, in creating our own businesses and our own economy. I-conversation kumele ibe lapho, guys. Sihlangana kanjani ukuthi siye phambili.
Yes.
Unity is where it's at. So really, black consciousness. Ngicela ningikhumbule ngalokho bantu abamnyama.
Sibonge. Thank you so much, Nozuko Ntshangase, everyone.
Boo, 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 boo.
Yes, sir.